Look at that. Can you believe that that one change
made a difference?
Made that much difference.
Get a look at that thing.
Woo, look at that fish in that sunlight, man. That is really pretty.
Isn't it?
Yes, sir. Really, really pretty. Now that's the two different fish stuck that thing as soon as it hit the water.
See if we can get him back that way.
Grady White Boats' reputation for designing ruggedly elegant fishing boats is legendary. Our attention to quality, detail, and customer service is unmatched. From our Fisherman 180 and Coastal Explorers series to the unrivaled Canyon 456, you'll find no boat that rides better and offers more fishing amenities. Go ahead, experience fishing at its best. Get the Grady.
Hello, welcome to the Carolina Outdoor Journal. Well, today's program will take us down to Mans Harbor, and we're going to be fishing for some stripers. And Joe, Mans Harbor is famous for their stripers.
Oh, it goes back years, and it still is a good destination for stripers. And really, any time of the year, just about year-round now, you can catch striped bass at that bridge. And we chose to do a summertime trip. I haven't been there in a number of years during that time of year, and I just wanted to see, working with Captain Brian Dehart, who's based in Manio, and he said the fishing had been good all summer, and when you go there in the summertime, the fish are not going to be as large as you might see in the fall and maybe coming out of the spring. But dead summer, they're a little more lean, but they don't hold back on the fight, and lots of fish, and we just had a good day.
What about our tackle we used that day?
Pretty much medium spinning casting tackle. You don't need anything real heavy, but you don't need anything real light either, because as you'll see, we're fishing around the bridge pilings, and so you know, striper knows what he can do with that piling. He can run around it and break you off, and we lost some fish like that. So you need to have a pretty stout rod for that, and then your pound test that you're using too, and they'll talk about that at gear time.
When we get through gear time, we're going to visit with Donna. She's in the kitchen, lemon scallops today.
Yeah, she's got a real tasty scallop recipe. If you like scallops, tune in. It's a little special.
All right, we got a lot going on. Let's get to it. We're going fishing. We'll catch up with gear time and lemon scallops today with Donna here today on the Carolina Outdoor Journal.
Well, Brian probably ought to knock on wood before I say it, but I believe we might have made it through the dog days of summer.
You know, July was terrible. August has not been so bad. It's a pretty morning, light northeast wind this morning, and should be good conditions. We'll have to see which way the current's moving when we get to one of the bridges, but I think we're going to catch some rockfish this morning.
Normally not the time of year I think about catching rockfish, but good structure here.
Yeah, that's right. You know, of course, the new bridge, it holds a tremendous amount of fish, but it's different kind of structure than what the old bridge is. It doesn't have the same amount of oyster rock and old clamshells and stuff on the bottom and the different breaks all up and down the bridge like the old one does. But traditionally, that old Mans Harbor Bridge has always been a rockfish destination.
Years and years.
Yep. People don't fish it that hard in the summertime, but it holds a ton of fish, and if you get the conditions right early in the morning, you can catch a load of fish and go home.
Nothing better than catching a rock on a plug. They do not finesse it, do they?
No, they smoke it, especially this time of year.
I'm looking forward to it. Let's pick up.
It'll be good fishing. I'm looking forward to it too. Kurt, what I'm trying to do now is just figure out exactly what the angle is going to be, where we're going to get the most bites. Whether it's going to be up current side or down current. It should be on the up current side of these pilings. But you need to try to bump the poles every cast if you can.
Get close to it.
Yep. That's where your bites are going to come from. Even if you can get the right angle, got a little grass in there, go ahead and throw it through the pilings.
Many cut you off when you get hooked up that close?
They can, they will. I mean, there's some decent fish out here this time of year. But I'll tell you what I did. I'm fishing 10-pound line, but I put a piece of 20-pound shock leader on there. Just, you know, for those fish around the poles, because the first thing they're going to do instinctively is run back through there. Turn the trolling motor off.
Rockfish?
Yes, a rock. He's not a bruiser, but look, man, he stuck it, boy.
I had a bite right there, those pilings too.
We need to pay attention to where we are, because there's going to be a load of them right there probably. Come on, baby.
Yeah.
Look, he wants to get back towards that trolling motor. He's like he's been trained. You see where that knot is? Just came in my guides. You can tell how long that shock tip it is to keep me from getting broken off.
Yeah, I often do that. Hadn't done it today.
Man, he's pulling pretty good, Big Daddy.
There you go.
Yeah, man. Yeah. He said the hook fell right out of his mouth. and into that rubberized net.
He
You know,
put up a good little fight, didn't he?
summertime fish, Kurt, that's not a bad fish at all.
Kind of lean.
Yeah, you'll catch some that are a whole lot leaner, but you'll catch a lot. That would surprise me, 'cause I think maybe because the water cooled off for about the last week. Fish have been feeding pretty good, but I'm gonna go ahead and get him back. If you
Put
don't
up a good
mind.
fight, didn't he?
Yes, sir. Let me get by you here, and we'll put him back in the water for the 80-degree water. We don't want to keep him out very long. He's ready to go, though. Did you see that? He took right off, buddy. Good deal, good deal.
Brian, if you had any time of year to fish here for good caliber fish and quantity of fish, what month would that be?
I always like December. I think December is a great month to fish out here. You know, when the water starts cooling off in October and November, the fish really get active. I mean, there's a ton of fish on the bridge right now. You know, there's fish here all year. But
Little fatter fish then?
yeah, quality-wise, the wintertime fish are a whole lot better.
And tell me, there's actually a rock season here too, isn't there?
Yeah, yep, sure is. And
What's the
yeah,
story
of
on
course,
that?
You got to pay attention to the regulations, because they change a little bit from year to year. And we'll be able to start keeping fish in October and keep them till the 1st of January or so. And then start keeping them again mid-January and be able to keep them maybe till, you know, April or early May. But there's a ton of fish. There's a bite right there, Kurt, just bumping that pole. Ton of fish on this bridge year round. That's a good
Man.
fish. Come off?
No, he just came to me,
Oh.
I reckon.
Pretty work. He's pulling pretty good, isn't he?
Yeah, good drag. I'm set pretty light here.
Are you?
Yeah.
I need to pull the
Caught
trolling
three or
motor
four.
up.
Caught 3 or 4 trout. You know I'm not set was too tight.
That's right. Oh yeah.
We're gonna land him over here.
Yeah, I'll get him for you.
Ooh, I'm lucky he didn't get in that pile as light as all set. I need to check that light line for.
Yeah, look at that pretty fish, man. I hear that drag pulling out there. Yeah.
Probably this time.
There we go. Hey, that's a nice
Yeah.
fish. That fish is barely skin hooked. I got a harder time getting it out of the net than I did out of the fish.
Yeah. That's a fighting little joker.
Yeah, man. Can we turn him loose for you?
Yeah, please, please. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do, since he kind of had control there for a little. I'm gonna check the last bit of my line, make sure I hadn't got a cut in it.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. All right, big boy. We appreciate your business. Come
He
back
put up
and
a
see
good
us.
fight.
Come back and look. He's lively too, man. These fish are in great shape this summer. See you later. There he goes.
Boy, he banged it.
Did he?
Banged
Right where
it.
he's supposed to be, right on the pole?
Pretty close.
Yeah, that's good.
I let it flutter down for about 6 feet and bumped it one time.
That may
started
be the
cranking.
depth, you know. That may be the depth that we're looking for. Good deal. Let me jump back on the trolling motor and get you back in
Appreciate
position.
that.
Kurt, I'm gonna go ahead and change baits again. Go ahead and mash these barbs down till we can find out what they're gonna eat the best. I know that, you know, we've had a few bites, but you might need to change yours to get to a rock bait instead of a speckled trout bait. I'm gonna go to a longer stick bait with a big lip on it,
I got you.
and see what in the heck happens.
What do you reckon these fish are feeding on right here?
There's a ton of glass minnows. If you look down the shadow line, when it gets more pronounced, you'll see all the bait in the shadow. There is some menhaden and stuff around, but mainly glass minnows and then little croakers and spot and stuff hanging around the bridges.
Bait
There he
I
is.
got-
There, look, first cast, Kurt. First.
Uh-huh.
Oh, look out!
He let go of it.
Yes, sir. First cast on that new bait.
Let me look at that thing.
No. You can certainly look at it, but I needed to go ahead and throw back in there one more time. There he is right there, Kurt. Oh, look at that. Can you believe that one change
Made a difference.
made that much difference?
Get a look at that thing.
Ooh, look at that fish in that sunlight, man. That is really
Pretty,
pretty.
isn't it?
Yes, sir. Really, really pretty. Now that's the two different fish stuck that thing as soon as it hit the
See
water.
if we can get him back that way.
It's a better fish. It's a good Man's Harbor rockfish right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the barbs are mashed down on that bait, so
All right, I'll come right out then, hadn't it?
should pop right out, yeah. Of course, there's always a tough spotter, too. Let me hold him real quick.
Got him?
Yeah, man. That's a 24-inch fish right there.
Amazing all the bait we see in the water, how poor that fish is, isn't it?
It's metabolism. I mean, they just burn it so fast this time of year, you know, that, yeah, of course, for that reason, we need to go ahead and get him back in the water. But
Yeah, water temperature's up.
he certainly stuck it, didn't he? That was 2 fish right in a row on that same bait. You know what the problem is, Kurt?
What's that?
The only one I got.
Well, doesn't sound like it's a problem for you right to start with.
Now, look how clear that water is, man. Water's pretty, real pretty sound water.
You catch another one on, I'm gonna be looking for something as close as I got to it, I can tell you that.
Well, you're my buddy. I might let you use it for a second.
Oh, that's all right. Yeah, they definitely like that bait a little
They're
better, don't
eating
they?
that bait a whole lot better. Just one, it's the same exact bait.
Just a
Just different
bigger lip
color.
on it?
No, it's a different color. That's all it is. He stuck it. He was in the shadow, but he was away from the piling. Let's go ahead and net these fish if we can. Again, that's barbless, so.
Well, I wasn't concerned about the fish. I'm trying to get the color here. I wasn't looking at him.
You know, those things are expensive on the water, Bubba. Look out
I'm gonna
now.
get hold of him.
Look out now.
Barbless or not, I don't want to hold on my finger.
Well, he's hooked in the top and bottom lip, so not much you can do with him. There we go.
I tell you what, a hook without a barb, even bent down,
Yeah,
still.
yeah.
Go ahead and give him.
Bingo.
Still has that little lump where you mash
Sure
it down.
does. Yeah, and if he hooks them in the right spot, it's still tough to get out. Let me slide back up there. We seem to have run into a few fish right here.
You know, Brian, most of the time you catch a fish, you like a little bit of current, just enough where you can handle. Is the tide here, is current tide driven or driven by the wind, and is any one better than another for catching a fish we're after?
Historically, you know, I'm just
I
speaking.
understand.
Historically, what we call a down tide was the current moving from north to south is the better fishing condition. Now we're fishing today, we're fishing a light current moving back to the north.
Opposite of that.
You know, of course, southeast wind is my least favorite wind to fish this bridge for the stripers, but we also have a situation, Kurt, where the wind is slightly against the current. I don't like that for anything that I do. But, you know, we're still scrapping out a few fish. That's the day we got. But, yeah, the more current, the more active the fish are. A north to south current has always been better, you know, as long as I've been fishing it. And even the old timers have always told me that. You know, so you can basically look at your conditions and tell about how the fishing is going to be when you get it.
It hadn't been bad.
No, it's been fine.
I'd rather have a fishable day than the current going the right way and wind blowing you out of there where you're fighting it the whole time.
You know, it'll really surprise you, the difference. And it's all wind driven. This isn't Oregon Inlet tide driven at all. This is a wind driven current. It blows it one way, and when the wind falls out, the water's got to come back. You know, that's just the way it works. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I feel like a real big fish, but they hit good.
I first looked down there, I thought it was
Trout.
another trout. Yeah. Same profile. You caught some trout that big this morning on that rattle trap, didn't you?
I tell you what, every time I can get this bait laid right down those pilings within 6 inches of him and bring it straight there,
You get a bite. Yep.
if I was
They
a
are
little more
right-
patient and only made that cast, I'd do a lot better.
They are right on the poles, man. I mean, if you're off of it 6 inches, you won't get bit, will you?
Hadn't seemed to, and it makes a lot of cranking that you know you're not going to do anything.
I know, because you might as well, if you land too far
No
off
need
there,
being back off from them, is it?
you land off of them too far, wind it up and cast again. Pretty work. Kurt, I don't know, that was the same.
mine?
Look at the fish with him. Can you bring your bait right underneath the mine? He had another fish about the
That's
same
all right.
size.
I don't see him no more.
I don't either. They come up real quick in that sunlight and take off.
Uh-huh.
He's
nice
straight,
fish.
boy. He's not bad on that
That
little.
wasn't bad. You didn't make, but
That was the third
I'm getting
cast,
that
I
for you
think,
here.
on that little
yeah, that's what I
bandit.
was gonna say. Got a new bait on.
That little bandit crankbait. And it hit the pole, fish hit it, and missed him, and he came right back and ate it again. Came right back and ate it again. Yeah, that's easy enough.
job. That's easy
Get off
enough,
of
huh?
you. Yes, sir. He's kind of, you know, thin, but he's not broken lined or don't have any bad eyes. And fish are really stressed. You can tell it in the, you know, some of their physical characteristics.
I'll
These
tell you
fish
what,
are
they
in pretty
fight
good
good.
shape.
They're strong.
Yes, sir. Let me jump by you and I'll turn him loose. Ain't nothing wrong with these fish, Bubba. He's gone. I believe I'll do that again. Could have been the same fish, but there was multiple fish there that came up, you know,
Saw
with that
one more.
fish. So,
Straight down the edge of them pilings, won't
yes, sir.
Joe, that was a good day of fishing, good summertime fishing.
Yeah, it was a really pretty day, a real comfortable day for summertime here in North Carolina, and the fish were on. Brian fishes that bridge all year round, but particularly in the summertime, he takes a lot of people that come through on vacation through the Nags Head, Manio area, Roanoke Island, take some fishing, and so he stays on those fish all the time. But just had a great day.
Let's find out more. Let's go to gear time.
Brian, that was a fun morning.
Yeah, it was a decent morning.
Yeah,
we
we
didn't burn them up, but
that's
we caught
right.
some fish.
We caught what we targeted. I primarily used a rattle trap the whole time. Quarter
Yeah.
ounce, noisy bait, good all-around rock bait. This particular one, I've just put a bucktail on it. I do that with them sometimes. And I was fortunate enough to keep it all day as much as we were throwing around the pilings.
Yep.
Line is a little scuffed up. It's a good bait. Mostly it caught some of the smaller fish, I'd have to say. You beat me on size fish for sure, and you were using a little bigger bait.
Yeah, different profile type baits. Of course, I knew you were going to show it with a rattle trap this morning. Every time I ever fished with you, you had
like
one of
a rattle
those
trap.
tied on something. I fished a variety of baits, you know, a couple of stick baits. This dives about 4 to 6 feet, something like that. Something I can jerk down the edge of the pilings and hit, and this suspend. So when I paused it, I was getting a few bites on a suspending bait. It seemed like as the current fell off that the fish wanted to, like you could flutter it down and get bit. I needed a deeper bait, so I went to a stretch type bait, bigger lip, bigger profile, something I could get down there, 10 foot, something like that, and really slow crank it down the edge of those poles.
I'd say that bait there produced the largest fish we had.
Yeah, it did, and it may be a profile thing for this morning or whatever. But we actually had a good time there at the very end, switching over, catching some smaller fish, but switching over to this little bandit crankbait, dives 4 to 6 feet. And you can tell that thing is really beat up, man.
It's brand new when we put it on.
Yeah, that thing really caught some fish.
I tell you one thing that was a good idea fishing around the pilings. I noticed you had some leader tied on.
Yeah, well, I'm fishing 8-pound test on this lighter spinning rod, and so I'll come up here and tie a small knot that goes to the guides real easy.
Probably a surgeon's knot.
Well, this is 20 pounds, so it's a no-name knot actually. What I call a white marlin knot.
I got you.
Something we use for tying small line to larger line, and gives me some abrasion resistance. And on the bait caster when I was throwing that for this bigger bait most of the time, that's got straight 15-pound line on it. It's just a real abrasion resistant P line that I don't mind throwing around the poles without having to put a leader on it. So it worked out pretty well. We caught fish on a variety of baits, and conditions kind of whipped us a little bit based on we lost the current. But hey, man,
yeah, that's
we caught some
fishing,
fish. Yes, sir.
Well, I enjoyed it. I hope we get to go again soon.
Oh, we will. We will.
It's good seeing you.
Yeah, good seeing you, Kurt. I appreciate you coming down.
Thanks, fellas. We appreciate that valuable information. Now, let's catch up with Donna. She's in the kitchen. She's got a recipe today for lemon herb scallops.
Hi, and welcome to Simple Cooking. Today we're going to make a lemon herb scallops. You can also use oysters if you like those. And it goes great with this watermelon and cucumber salad. I think you're really gonna like it. So let's go ahead and get started. We're gonna make our marinade first. We're just gonna take a basic jar. We're gonna add a little bit of olive oil to this. And you can tell I'm measuring really well. And then we're going to add some fresh lemon juice to this. And a trick is if you have lemons that I think fresh squeezed is the best. And so all you need to do is just take your lemon and rub it along the countertop to kind of mush up some of those, the pulp inside and get it juicy, and then cut it off and just squeeze it right in. We're going to use some oregano in this and some cumin. And then we're going to use some fresh parsley. And what I like to do is just take my parsley, and an easy way to chop it is just to use your scissors instead of put it on a cutting board, and just chop it all in there. It'll give it some great flavor. Then we're just going to put our lid on, give it a quick shake, and you're ready to go. We're going to pour that in a zip bag, and which I already have mine in a zip bag. And then we're going to place our scallops in here, and like I said, you can use oysters if you like. And there are several different sizes of scallops. There's the large ones, there's some medium size, and some small ones. Or if you like the large ones, you can cut them into fourths, which I've done as well. And that kind of makes them cook a little bit faster and a little bit more bite size, depending on what you want to do with, how you want to serve them. Then we're just going to toss those. And what you do is you put this into the refrigerator and let it sit for about 30 minutes, an hour max, and then you're ready to go. So once they've marinated and they'll soak up those great flavors, we're going to place some lemon pepper butter on our wax paper, and then we're just going to dredge these in there and coat them really well. Put that aside, so we can toss that. And we're just going to coat those, and then we're going to bake these in a preheated 425-degree oven. We want to make sure it's nice and hot, and if you like, you can go ahead and put your baking sheet. I've lined mine with some non-stick foil. You can go ahead and put that in your oven, or sometimes I just throw my cast iron skillet in there, heat it up, and then they'll sear really nicely when you put your scallops on there. There we go. So we're just going to place those on there and bake those for about 10 minutes until they're cooked thoroughly. Depending on the size of your scallops, they may take a little bit longer or not quite as long. And this great salad that goes along with the scallops, it is a watermelon and cucumber salad, and it has watermelon, cucumbers, Kalamata olives, some red onions chopped in there, and it also has a little bit of the marinade in it because you want to save some out. And then it also has some diced tomatoes, and if you want to go ahead and dice them, if you have some, that's great. If you don't, just grab some out of your pantry like I do. I always keep diced tomatoes in my pantry. Toss that all together and let it marinate. You can also make it ahead of time and let it sit if you'd like as well. So let's take a look and see what they look like when they come out. As you can see, the scallops are nice and crunchy and golden brown. And I've just kind of made a little antipasto with this. I have additional sliced cucumbers, some olives, and then I have my watermelon and cucumber salad as well. It's a great combination. It's nice and cool, and I hope you enjoy it. So I look forward to seeing you next time here on Carolina Outdoor Journal.
Thank you, Donna. Each recipe just seems to be getting better and better. Joe, let's go back down to Mans Harbor. Good day of fishing.
Absolutely. Summertime fishing for stripers, and as we said earlier, that bridge has been famous for years. Goes 50 years for stripers, and it gets better as it gets into the cooler months. The fish put on more weight and they're a little bit more aggressive. But summertime fishing is, as you saw, we had plenty of fish. Brian knows that area well, fishes a lot, so he called us and said, "Hey, it's time, and let's do it." And so we did it and caught some fish.
And Brian can put you on the fish.
He really knows that area well. He lives in Manio. He bases and fishes that northern coastal area around Manio, Nags Head, Swan Quarter. He knows that well too. But a very accomplished guide, and we fished with him a long time.
All right, good day of fishing. For Joe Albee, I'm John Moore. Thanks for joining us today on the Carolina Outdoor Journal.
Make sure to visit our website for more information.
Grady White boats are known for uncompromising quality through exceptional attention to detail. On every model, from 18 to 45 feet, we incorporate exclusive features and quality components that you won't find on any other boat brands. Our exclusive CV2 hull design is ranked highest in every third-party survey done in the marine industry. So every day on the water will be a great day, no matter the conditions. Ask any Grady White owner and they'll tell you, get the Grady.